Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are at day 5 of the February Daily LeetCode Challenge, and we again have an easy question in front of us. This is the fifth time in this month we are having an easy question in a row. Okay, this is the fifth time, and as usual, like I did for the last 4 days, today also I will be showing the solution, which is beating 100% of the test cases in both Python as well as in Java. Okay, so I have kept my promise. My promise was that whenever it's an easy question, we will try our best to find a solution which is beating 100% of the other solution, which is between 100% of solutions. First thing. Second number is we will try to use as much as like we will try to reduce the automated functions, that is inbuilt functions, as much as possible. That is the second thing. And the third point is that we will try to solve it using more than one language. Okay, that is something that I mentioned in comment section, I guess 1 or 2 days back, and that was the aim that we started with. And again, I am proud to say that we have been following this time for the last 4 days, and this is the fifth time we are going to do that. So again, it's an easy question, and again, the solution that I'm going to show you is beating 100% of the test cases in both Python and Java, and I have not used any inbuilt function. Okay, I can probably say that. Now, if you see this question, I have already given the link in the description. You can go and check that out. It is 1790. Check if one string swap can make a strings equal. So as you can see, we are basically given two strings. Okay, and if you see the constraints, each string, that is both the strings are going to have the same length, and the length can be up to 100. Okay, from 1 till 100. And one good thing is that both the strings are going to have only lowercase English letters. Okay, now if you see what they're telling you, they are saying that return true if it is possible to make both strings equal by performing at most one string swap on exactly one of the strings. Okay, they are saying out of the two, you have to take at one string, and in that string you can do at most one string swap. Now what that means, let us see. For example, if we take the example number one, here if you see B and K, let us say I am swapping them. So what it will become, it will look like this. Okay, now if you see, after doing that swap, a S1 and S2 are going to match. Okay, I will again repeat. See, you are taking B, okay, and you are replacing that with K. Okay, so the B in S1 is being replaced with K. Okay, so you will get S2. That is, after doing this replacement, you will get S2. So the idea here is, with just one string swap, we are getting, we are changing S1 to S2, and that for that reason now S1 will match S2. Okay, so we have written towards the answer. So if you can see, that's what they have mentioned. For example, swap the first character with the last character in S2 to make bank. Okay, so basically we are able to convert S1 to S2. For that reason, we'll have to return true. Okay, I will again repeat the question. Return true if it is possible to make both strings equal by performing at most one string swap on exactly one of the strings. Okay, that's what they're trying to tell you. Okay, now let us see the third example. See, in this case, it's again a very good one. See, here you don't have to do anything. Okay, here you don't have to do anything. That's why why I'm showing example 3 is because I want you to understand the meaning of this term at most. At most means that you can do it even 0 times, or if you have to do, you have to do at least at most once. Okay, as simple as that. It can be 0, it can be 1. Okay, so in this case, we are doing for 0 time. Okay, as simple as that. If you see example number 2, it's like completely irrelevant. If you see, there is nothing possible. If you see, there is no D and all. Okay, see, you can just replace. Remember, you can just swap two values. Okay, but again, you cannot introduce new values. So if you see, there is D present here, but there is no D present in this, so it's not possible for us to do any number of swaps. Still we won't be able to match S2. We won't be able to match S1 and S2. Okay, for that reason we have written false. So I hope you're now clear with the question. You have to take S1. Okay, if needed, do one swap. One swap means take any value and swap it with any other value. Okay, do that swap. After that, it should be able to match with S2. Okay, that is the aim that you have to do. Okay, I will be showing you two solutions, both Python and Java, and I am showing you that my solution is beating 100% of test cases in both Python as well as in Java. Okay, we'll see both of them. First, we'll start with Python. Okay, so what we have to do, as I mentioned, see, this part is most important. But if you're not taking this into consideration, you will not be able to get your solution in one go. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to ensure that, see, there are two things. If needed, we will do the swap. If it is not needed, we will not do. Okay, so if you are doing the swap, we have to ensure that we are only doing it for one time. Okay, so that, if, see, for example, sometimes what will happen, no? If you are not controlling this factor, that how many times the swap can happen, it can happen that you may do two swaps and you have to return the answer. Okay, but two swaps are not allowed, remember that. Okay, so you have to ensure that there should be a mechanism through which you can do only one swap. After that swap, you should disable that mechanism. Okay, in your code. So let us see how I'm doing it. See, what I'm doing is I'm keeping two variables. These variables will be used to store the values which are not matching. So what I will do is I will start matching. Okay, for example, B will be matched with K. Okay, now since they are not matching, okay, I will start matching B with K because they are both in 0th index. If they are not matching, I will store them in A and B. Okay, A will store the value in S1, B will store the character in S2, which were not matching. Next, the second time when they are not matching, for example, here if you see they are not matching, that time I will try to replace them. If that replacement, if they are matching, then we are good. Otherwise, we are not good. Okay, let's see how it works. See, I'm first of all capturing the length. Okay, initially both of them are none, right? Now see, I'm going through each of the characters, that is each index from 0 to n minus 1. Next, if they are matching, that is s1 of I is equal to s2 of I. In that case, simply continue. Okay, don't do anything, simply continue. Okay, if they are not matching, okay, then there are two cases. Case number one is when if a equal to none. Okay, if a is none, that means this is going to be our first replacement. Remember, whenever a is none, that means we are going to, like, this is going to be our first replacement. Okay, what we have to do, I am capturing the unmatched value in s1 in a, I'm capturing the unmatched value in S2 in B. Okay. So what will happen? B will go to A and K will go to B. Okay. As simple as that. So these are A and B's. Okay. A will store the unmatched value in S1. B will store the unmatched value in S2. Okay. Now, so this is the first time. Okay. This will happen and then we'll go to the next iteration. Okay. Now again, like see, A and K will come. Okay. A and N will come. Okay. A and N, if you see, A and N are matching. Okay. So with this, we will go into the next iteration. And finally, we'll come to the last iteration when we are at K. Okay. K and B. Wherein we are in K and B, again, same thing will happen. They are not matching. So what will happen? We'll come to else condition. Again, now we'll check if A equal to none. Okay. In this case, it is not possible. Right? Remember, A has been stored with some value. So definitely A is not none. In that case, we'll come to the else condition. Okay. We'll now enter in the else condition if we are at here. Okay. In the last index, N and B will else enter the else condition. In this else condition, if you see, we are just trying to match in the reverse way. See, S1 is stored in A. Okay, remember that. But what we are doing, we are trying to match S1 with B. Okay, so S2 was stored in B, but now B will be matched with S1. Similarly, if you see, S1 is stored in A. Okay, S1 of I is stored in A. Now A is matched with S2 of I. Okay, as simple as that. So we are just reversing it. If you see, S1 is associated with A, right? But if you see here, A is being matched with S2. So we are like reversing it. See, this B basically will now be checked with this. Okay. Similarly, this K will now be matched with this. Okay. Just reverse way, right? As simple as that. If they are not matching, simply return false because it's not possible. Okay, if they are matching, what we have to do, that means that we have done one replacement. Remember, at most we can do only one swap, right? We can do only one swap, and that swap we have done. If we have done that swap, what we have to do, we have to mark it, we have to somehow mark that value so that we know that we have done the swap. So for that reason, I'm marking B as none again. Remember, we started with B equal to none, we are again marking it with B equal to none. Okay, let us say a case arises when there is second swap happening. So how to like stop that? See, as I mentioned, swap will only happen when A equal to none. So since this value is allotted, remember I am not making A equal to none again. Because of that reason, second swap cannot happen. So that is the mechanism that I am using. I am not making A as none again. For that reason, the second swap cannot happen. Okay, as simple as that. Similarly, now there are two cases. See, let us say in the first case, like in example number 3, there are no swaps needed. In that case, B will remain zero in the starting itself. There won't be any change. For example, in example number 1, what will happen? There will be a swap. So B will be made as a value in between. Okay, and at last it will be made as none again. So when we come out of this particular for loop, what we'll see, that B, if it is none, only then return true, otherwise return false. Okay, this is what the condition that I've designed. Okay, let me quickly translation show it to you. As you can see, this is clearing all the test cases. Okay, I've already shown this is like beating 100% of the solution. See, the idea here is I am not using any additional variables, only two simple variables. What I'm doing is I will again explain the logic. See, wherever they are mismatching for the first time, okay, store their values in two variables. Okay, in this case, I'm calling them A and B. Okay, so the second time when they're mismatching, in that case, whatever value stored, reverse them and then try to match them. Okay, that is C. For S1, the value is stored in A. Okay, so the second time when they're mismatching, now the value in S2 should be matched with A. Okay, remember S1's value was stored in A, but now the S2's value should be matched in A when it is the second time we are seeing a mismatch. Okay, as simple as that. So this will ensure that if there was a mismatch and if we can correct it using a single swap, then that will happen here itself. Okay, then that will happen here itself. Okay, if that happens, mark this value as none. Okay, remember what can happen. See, there is a test case here. I will let you show you that. For example, let's go to the test case 4. This is something I've additionally added. See, here what is happening? No, here there is, see, we are replacing something, but see, for example, this is the first mismatch. Remember, there has to be two mismatches. See, B and K is the first mismatch. Okay, then again there should be a mismatch. K and B, there should be a second mismatch. But in this case, if you see, there is only one mismatch, A and C. Okay, so there is no second mismatch happening. For that reason, I mentioned, see, at last B has to be none. Okay, in this case, if you see, what will happen in the fourth case, test case number 4? Here, in the last index, what will happen? See, A and B will be assigned a value. Non see, now A will not be none anymore. Okay, but when the loop ends, it will not be none also. For that reason, we have to return false. Okay, as simple as that. So if you see the answer in this case, it is false. Okay, for that reason, it is returning false. So this was the Python solution. If you talk about the space and time complexity, it is going to be O of n time complexity because we are using a for loop for n iterations, and the time complexity, yeah, in the space complexity is going to be constant. Okay, now let us see the Java solution. See, there is one catch here. If you see, in Python, we can assign none value to any value, okay, any character, because there is no data type concept here. But in Java, there is a slight catch here. So this is the Java solution. If you see now, see here what will happen is I cannot assign a null value to character. For that reason, I have to assign something different. So if you see, I will use this fact now. It's not, none of the inputs are going to have a uppercase character. For that reason, instead of assigning none or a null value, I am assigning a capital value here. Okay, both of them are going to start with Z. Okay, again the same loop will continue. If they are matching, simply go to the next iteration. If they're not matching for the first time, what you have to do, you have to do this case. Okay, what you have to do, shift, store their values in A and B. Okay, store their values in A and B. For that reason, what will happen, A will now lose the default value, and instead they will storing these values. Okay, now let's say in the second time they are not matching. What you have to do, we have to see whether the previous stored values of A and B can be used now or not. Okay, so we are just trying to see whether S1 of I is not equal to B or S2 of I not equal to. In that case, return false. Okay, if that is not the case, that means if this connection is not true, that means they are matching. That is, the previous values that we have stored are matching now. Okay, with S1 and S2. In that case, simply make like restore B to its original value. Okay, as simple as that. So at the end of this particular for loop, if the B's value is Z, return true, otherwise return false. Okay, let me quickly run this and show it to you. As you can see, again, this is clearing all the test cases, and this was one of the solutions which is beating 100% of the test cases, as you can see now. So yeah, that was all for this video. Space complexity is the same that of the Python and Java. Okay, it's going to be constant space complexity and often time complexity. So yeah, that was all for this video. See, this is the fifth easy question in a row. So see, what my intent here is that whenever you see the easy question, you should have three aims. Okay, what is the first aim? First aim is that you have to like reach a code where you can beat 100% of the solutions. Case that's the first one. Second is that you have to minimize the use of inbuilt functions. Okay, and the third one is that you should be able to code your logic in at least two programming languages, because that will tell you whether your logic is really strong or not. Okay, because sometimes for some programming language, your solution will be able to beat 100% of the cases, but if you change the language, you will see that your solution is not performing properly. Okay, so if you if you want to see whether your logic is really good or not, in both the languages you should be able to beat 100% of the test cases. Okay, and that's what I've shown you in Python and Java. In both of them, I can, as you can see, it is beating the 100% of test cases. So yeah, that was all for today. For the last 5 days, I am showing you consistently solutions which are beating 100% of the test cases. I hope you are enjoying this kind of videos. You are at least learning something new from this kind of videos. So yeah, that was all for today. If you like my efforts, please do subscribe to the channel. This really gives a lot of motivation to continue further. Your appreciation will help us reach a larger audience where everyone can benefit from these videos. They can learn some quality concept for free. They can learn some quality coding styles for free. If you want to have that to happen, please do support us. Please do subscribe to the channel. See you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.